Welcome to Meet the Candidate 2022, and we are recording at the Dry Fly Distillery. My guest this afternoon is Joe Schmick, who is running for State Representative, District 9, and you are the incumbent.
Yes.
And this is the Get Acquainted conversation.
Well, I so appreciate the opportunity to come in and visit with you today.
Well, I always start with just a little bit about where you grew up and started school.
Sure. I was born and raised in Colfax. Went grade school, high school there, graduated, then went on to Eastern Washington University. I have a degree in accounting, a minor in economics, and then I went back to farm. And some would say, why would you ever do that? Well, I use the accounting degree every single day.
I think there's a lot of people that don't realize that there are very many farmers that are have degrees of some kind that they then use in their business, because it is a business.
And then I farmed for 35 years, and then at the passing of my mom, which was the last of my parents, my siblings informed me we were selling the land. So
that transition is difficult for a lot of people.
It is, and I've come to deal with it. I miss that. There's something about growing something on the land. But I had a tie to the land. My siblings didn't. So it's okay. We just had different focuses in life. And so, like I said, we move on.
Well, when asking the what was your first job question from somebody who's grown up on a working farm is usually results in it's farming.
No, actually, I actually worked both on the farm and off the farm.
Okay.
I started stocking shelves at age 14. That's back when we could work, and I worked there quite a while, and then I held an off-the-farm job, and this was in addition to all the chores that you had to do when you went home. But I also then had a job at the local business all the way through high school.
Okay, that's very enterprising of you.
If you wanted something extra, you had to earn it.
That works. And I know that one of the answers to one of these other questions is about travel experience. Well, you didn't mention the Ag Forestry Leadership Program. I'm going to lead you to that one, because that's another kind of education, and it ties into the travel experience. And what did that experience, how did that enrich your understanding of your community and your perspective on the world?
One thing about the Ag Forestry Program, and it's the Washington Agricultural and Forestry Education Foundation. Those who graduate from it just call it Ag Forestry because it's a mouthful otherwise.
Right, and I confess, I also did the same program, so I have an interest.
I think during that time, not only learning communication skills and skills of groups and working together, I learned about a lot of issues that affected society. And quite frankly, a lot of them I was never really exposed to before. And I'd have to say it did whet my interest in politics and public policy. And I guess I can blame them partly on my interest there, and then also wanting to serve the citizens and the constituents of the 9th District. But I didn't answer your travel question. What did I learn?
Right. What have you learned in travel? Because actually travel experiences are a piece of the Ag Forestry Leadership Program because of how it gives you a perspective on your own community.
I learned how fortunate we are when we lived in America. We went to Denmark and then to Helsinki, and then we went into St. Petersburg and then rode the train from St. Petersburg, and we came through the three Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia, the Baltic states. And just seeing how they lived and how comparison to how we lived, I learned that Americans were pretty wasteful. Something we just quickly threw it away. There, they used everything multiple times over until it was wore out. And it just caused me great pause and to realize maybe we can do better.
Joe, I didn't realize that you and I had almost the same Ag Forestry trip.
Really?
Yeah, we went to Latvia, Lithuania, and then into St. Petersburg.
Okay.
And some really interesting farm stays and some just listening to people talk about politics. It's been...
What years?
It was 2008.
Okay, when I went, it was 90
Yeah.
and 91. And the farm stay that we stayed on, they had an outhouse. They cooked over an open wood fire. I mean, they had a wood stove,
Yeah.
but that's how they cooked. It was,
That was the Soviet era, right?
yes.
So this is the post-Soviet era.
Okay.
And we were told by stories by the people there about, you know, how they gained their freedom and how much they counted on America to stand by them. We're getting off the topic of the
I'm
Ninth
sorry.
Legislative District, but no, I took us there. I'm sorry. It was fascinating to listen to how people talk about their relationship to government.
And one thing I do remember that is that one gentleman was able to buy a tractor, and he moved it every night so that the government wouldn't know where it was at, or else they would confiscate it.
Yeah.
And that's what they did every night. That tractor was hid someplace else.
You and I are going to schedule a conversation
Okay.
sometime about those experiences. I'm going to get back to, so what is life like today?
Well, we're coming out of the COVID, except state government's still in lockdown mode. We do not have meetings. Any of the sub groups, committees that I'm on, we haven't met. Some of them meet by Zoom, but some of them we've not met at all during COVID. But that doesn't mean that people don't have issues and stuff that I'm working on. I work on stuff all the time. I'm pretty busy. And I think part of the busyness is that people come to you when they've got a problem, believing and then knowing that you can help them and do everything that you can to help them. And that's what I really do pride myself on, is helping my constituents when they have a problem. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
I had a couple in Roselia, and they learned that a second cousin's child, that family was having problems, and that child was going to go into the foster system. And they couldn't stop it. And I entered that fray and got them. So here they placed that child with a family member rather than to go into foster care, that system. And when you get that Christmas card, at Christmas time, it says, "Thanks, Representative Schmick, for making us a family." Those are the reasons why you struggle often, but also fight for your constituents in the 9th District.
Well, that's a perfect place to give you that last 1-minute speech answering directly the question, why should people vote for Joe Schmick for State Representative for the 9th Legislative District?
Well, thank you. My reasons why I ran are still there. I watched a lot of our small communities and small towns dwindle away, and I wanted to do something about it. I will fight for you in Olympia. If you're fighting the agencies or whoever, I will do the very best I can to represent you. And that is why I'm asking for your vote today. And thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in, Joe.
From Chud Sr. to Dick Wendell, to Kristen and myself.
And now to our kids.
Our goal is to help people drive for generations.
From roll-up windows to power everything. From stick to automatic. From gas to electric.
No one can totally predict what technology is coming our way.
But I can guarantee we will be here before and after the sale, giving you the confidence for generations to come.
That's the Wendell way. Drive for generations.
Hey voters, join me, Kirk Cameron, on Saturday, September 24th with We Believe, We Vote at the Spokane Convention Center for a night of celebrating biblical citizenship.
Join We Believe We Vote for our annual fundraiser on Saturday, September 24th, 2022 with Kirk Cameron. For tickets and event information, please visit WeBelieveWeVote.com. That's WeBelieveWeVote.com. We'll see you there.
Weather in the inland Northwest can wear you down. And if your gutters are in poor condition or you do not have gutters, you could suffer damage that could cost a fortune to fix. Rainman Seamless Rain Gutters has almost 30 years of professional experience in serving the inland Northwest region and strives to ensure customer service that is second to none from the time you call to the end of the project.